Thanks to our sponsor, Lawrence Auto Repair, at 1309 US Highway 2 in Kalispell. Most consistently rated 5-star shop serving the Kalispell area. Visit lawrenceauto.com.
Technicians will take care of you. The highest rated in the Kalispell area. Lawrence Auto Repair. Service with integrity of the highest quality. lawrenceauto.com.
Hello and welcome to News Now. I'm your host, Taylor Inman. We're going over the biggest headlines this week for Northwest Montana. Authorities say they pulled the body of a North Carolina fugitive wanted on multiple felony charges from the Flathead River near the Blankenship Bridge earlier this month. 35-year-old Stephen Jeffrey O'Shields of Franklin, North Carolina was sought on extraditable felony warrants for charges including sexual battery against a child, burglary, theft of services, and police obstruction, according to the Flathead County Sheriff's Office. He also allegedly was a non-compliant sex offender. Officials said the charges all originated in North Carolina. The Sheriff's Office received a report of O'Shields staying in the Big Creek campground in the North Fork area at about 7 p.m. on June 21st, according to officials. Deputies subsequently crossed paths with the 35-year-old as he walked south near mile marker 11 on the North Fork Road. O'Shields allegedly fled into the woods after catching sight of law enforcement. Officials said that during the ensuing foot pursuit, deputies saw O'Shields wading into the Flathead River and moving with the current. The last they saw of him, authorities said he was struggling to stay above the water. He disappeared around a bend just south of Glacier Rim. Authorities found O'Shields' body submerged just above the Blankenship Bridge with help from 2 Bear Air at about 9 p.m. Boat crews from the North Valley Search and Rescue later recovered the body and turned it over to the Flathead County Coroner's Office. Officials took it to the Montana State Crime Lab in Missoula for an autopsy and identification on June 24th. The pursuit and O'Shields' death are under investigation by the State Department of Criminal Investigations at the request of the Sheriff's Office. Federal Judge Dana Christensen has stopped the Flathead National Forest from implementing its forest plan for the 2.4 million acres because the U.S. Forest Service ignored the impact of roads on the endangered grizzly bear and bull trout populations. In his decision, which mostly upheld federal magistrate Kathleen DeSoto's initial ruling, he said that the Forest Service continues to ignore the impact of closed roads and unauthorized motor vehicle use on roads in grizzly bear and bull trout habitat. The case is similar to many which have centered on grizzly bears and roads recently. The U.S. Forest Service, which doesn't comment on pending litigation as a matter of policy, continues to disregard or ignore roads that have existed but are no longer used, according to the order from the U.S. District Court. Because the U.S. Forest Service has not permanently closed them, returning them to a natural or an impassable state, the roads are still used, the judge said, even if illegally. While the U.S. Forest Service doesn't calculate the closed roads into its final forest plan, it does estimate that the road closures are around 90% effective, according to court documents. Christensen did not vacate or stop the plan, as the groups challenging the plan, the Swan View Coalition and Friends of the Swan, had asked, but he did stop the plan from going into effect until the Forest Service corrects it. The court found the U.S. Forest Service must provide a detailed discussion of motorized vehicle use, including some of which is unauthorized. The court said the U.S. Forest Service cannot ignore the information which has demonstrated the problem, even if it deems the matter hard to control. That means the Forest Service will likely have to either address the problem of unauthorized motorized use in the plan or detail how that use will not adversely affect endangered species. Christensen and DeSoto both faulted the Forest Service for excluding the problems of road density because it characterized the grizzly population as robust, and said that challenges of tracking illegal use is spatially disparate and temporary. Christensen also said that the Forest Service and Fish and Wildlife Service's argument that it could discount unauthorized motor vehicle use in forests because the grizzly bear population was growing could be discounting the very protections that had allowed their recovery. The search for a woman missing in the Kootenai River near Libby came to a sad ending on Sunday morning. Lincoln County Sheriff Darren Short told the Western News searchers found the body of Jessica Prado. Prado had been missing since Wednesday evening after a 2-person kayak she and companion Jared Satterlund were in capsized just below the China Rapids. Members of David Thompson's Search and Rescue and the County Sheriff's Office combed the river and its banks for 3 full days and part of 2 others before making the tragic find. Short said the 2 people were kayaking in different sections of the river in the days prior to Wednesday's incident. He also said they were not wearing life vests. Short urged caution to people using the river and recommended wearing a personal flotation device. Water temperatures are in the low 50s, the currents are strong, and many obstructions such as boulders and trees can trap people. He also urged recreationists to be cautious around the falls. Steep stretches of shale along the northern bank can be especially treacherous. Swimmers should never approach the falls as strong undercurrents, unseen from the surface, are common in that stretch of the river. The woman's death in the river is the first since 2021 when a 17-year-old boy fell off a cliff while riding his bike on the trail above Kootenai Falls. A 50-year-old man kayaking the Kayaker River died in early May 2022 when he fell out of a boat while running the waterway with friends. The man's body was eventually found in the Kootenai River. Short said searchers used everything in their means to locate Prado. In addition to dogs and a drone, underwater camera equipment was used in the aid to hunt for the woman. Also, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers held back water at Libby Dam to lower water levels on the river to assist searchers. According to a press release from the Sheriff's Office, dispatch received a call at about 7:58 p.m. on Wednesday for Prado. She and Jared Satterlund were kayaking above Kootenai Falls when they began having problems. Satterlund tried to help Prado, but he last saw her struggling in an eddy in the river before losing sight of her. They had made arrangements to be picked up above Kootenai Falls. A dog that accompanied them was also able to get out of the river along with Satterlund. The hunt for the woman began quickly. Searchers eventually found a cooler near the shore above Kootenai Falls, and the damaged kayak and other property were recovered below the falls. Flathead Valley's Two Bear Air Rescue also responded to assist with the initial search. Read these full stories at dailyinterlake.com. Thanks for joining us. News Now is a podcast from the Daily Interlake. We're proud to be the largest independent newsroom in Montana and the oldest paper in the Valley. Consider becoming a subscriber to support our work. Call Circulation at 406-755-7018 or go to the subscribe tab in the top right corner of our website. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel to never miss an episode of the pod. Everybody stay safe and have a great week. Thanks to our sponsor, Lauren's Auto Repair at 1309 U.S. Highway 2 in Kalispell. Most consistently rated 5-star shop serving the Kalispell area. Visit lawrencauto.com.